Hello guys, hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video we're going to look at English paper 2, specifically 2025 GCE and the comprehension part. And remember, this part carries 20 marks, meaning each question is going to carry 2 marks. So for those who want to join my online tuitions, you can contact me or WhatsApp me on 0968 So this word comprehension is coming from the word comprehend, and comprehend means to understand. So once you understand, you're going to come up with a meaningful statement to answer the question. So what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to read the entire paragraph. So I'll be just going to each question, then we go to a certain paragraph where we're going to extract the answer. So we have been given the example here. So according to the instruction here saying, in each of the questions 1 to 9, select the best answer from the 4 options provided. Indicate your answer by drawing a circle around the letter on the question paper as in the example given below. Then if you change your mind, close out the initial choice very neatly, then circle your reversed answer clearly. So for question 10, answer as instructed. So we have this example. So it is saying Jonas Salk's father worked in a clothing dash. So we have industry, also have themselves, we have factory, industry, shop and store. So the correct answer here is factory. So let's see where we are going to get the answer, which is the factory. So according to paragraph 1, it is saying Jonas Salk was born in America in 1914. His father worked in a factory. So that is the answer that you need to understand. Alright, so that is the answer that you need to understand there. So let's see the first question that we need to answer. So the first question is saying, from paragraph 1, Jonas Salk was born in the dash century. So let's see from paragraph 1. So from paragraph 1, according to paragraph 1, it is saying Jonas Salk was born in America in 1914. So now according to the way we understand centuries, if you are in 19 plus or 19 is meaning to say you are in 20th century. How can you calculate that one? So we are having 1914 there, then you divide by 100, because we know to say that each century is equal to 100. Okay, so if you divide here, you're going to find that we're going to have 19.14, which is close to 20. So it is 20th century. Then when you're in 18, let's say 1814 or 1820s, okay, 1820s, meaning to say you are in 19th century. So that is how it is. So we are in 2026, meaning to say we are in 21st century, which is 21. So that is one thing that you need to know here. So since here we are having 1914, meaning to say this one has to be 20th century. So I need to circle this one as my answer. So that is 2 marks need to count. Then for question 2, it is saying in paragraph 1, Viola says dash. So let's read paragraph 1 and then extract the answer. Okay. So it is saying Jonas Salk was born in America in 1914. His father worked in a clothing factory. Salk studied at New York University of Medicine, where he graduated in 1939. From the start of his medical career, that same year, Salk was interested in viruses. Okay, Salk was interested in viruses. These are tiny parasite organisms which are visible only under a microscope or a powerful microscope. So here it is saying these are only visible under a powerful microscope, meaning to say these we can't see them using our naked eyes. Right. So of course they are tiny and they are parasite. So let's see the options here. So we have option number 1, which is saying can't be seen by the naked eyes, which is correct. What about this one? They are immense parasitic organism. Of course, this one is correct. It is even in the paragraph to say that these are parasitic organisms. Then another one is saying are invisible under a powerful microscope. No, they are visible under a powerful microscope. Then from here we can say they are visible under a microscope. So even this one is not going to be the answer. Now the only word which is making this one not to be the answer is this one, immense parasitic organism, unless it was just a parasitic organism. So that is one thing that you need to know. So meaning to say our answer here is just going to be A. So we need to get the meaning from the paragraph. Of course, the paragraph is saying these viruses, they are parasitic and they are not visible through our naked eyes, and they can only be seen by using a powerful microscope. Now this one here is saying they are invisible. When you say invisible, meaning you can't see them using a powerful microscope, which is wrong, because in the question, in the paragraph, it was saying they can be seen using a powerful microscope. So that is one thing that you need to know. So now according to paragraph 2, so we're going to go to paragraph 2 to extract our answer. So according to paragraph 2, for how long had Jonas Salk worked when he became interested in polio? For -years. Right. Let's see. So in paragraph 2, here we are saying, or it is saying, in 1947, after working on the subject for several years, Salk became interested in polio, a disease against which there was no protection at the time. So the disease was common and worldwide. And the early 1950s, several epidemics had broken out in Europe and America. So according to the number of years which passed here, we need to look at the years. So he started working on the subject in 1947, and then in early 1950s, that is when this disease became common worldwide. So we just need to do the math here. So we have 1950, also have 1945. So let's see. We have 1950s, also have 1947. Then we can do the math here. So here we are going to get 0. Then that is that is 4. Then here that is 10. So from there we can say that 11 minus, let me see if that is what we have. Okay, 1947 to that one. Okay, so that is going to be 3. Then here we have 5. So, or let me say we have 4, but remember we have remainder 3 here. So 4 minus 4, that is 0. 0 plus 3, we are going to get 3. As a result, what are we going to have? We're going to have 33. So meaning to say our answer is just going to be D. So that is what you're supposed to do on this question. Then for question 4, it is saying in paragraph 2, what could have been the reason for John Salk to become interested in working on polio? Because it was dash, or it dash. So where are we going to go? We are going to go in paragraph 2 so that we extract the question. Remember, comprehension means to understand. So you need to understand, then you answer. Some of the questions, okay, some of the points you can even see them in the paragraph. But what you need to get from the paragraph is the meaning statement for you to answer. So let's see paragraph 2. The reason why you're interested in working on polio. So paragraph 2, it is saying, in 1947, after working on the subject for several years, Salk became interested in polio, a disease against which there was no protection at the time. Now, the disease was common. That's the reason why he's interested in working on that one, and worldwide, according to what we can see here. And by the early 1950s, several epidemics had broken out in Europe and America. So the reason why he became interested in working on the polio, this is because this disease was common and worldwide. Something which is affecting worldwide, it has to be worked on. So that's the reason why he was interested in. Of course, he had no cure. Okay, he had no cure at the first time. If we can see from what's this? Let me see. Okay. Was it paragraph 1? No, it's paragraph 2. It was saying that a disease against which there was no protection. If there was no protection, meaning there was no cure. If there was no cure, meaning to say someone is going to be interested in working that so that he or she finds the cure. So John Salk interested in working on the polio because he knew that the same disease had no cure. So he wanted to come up with a cure. So of course this one is going to be the interesting point, but that's not the reason. So had no cure and was common. Of course it was common, and this was worldwide. Yes, it was worldwide. And the last one was common, worldwide, and without cure. So this one here is getting everything. So you can't just choose this one, because even this one is an answer. This one is also an answer. Even this one is an answer. Now the one which is having all the answers is D. It was common, it was worldwide, and it was not having cure. Okay, so we can choose D as our answer. Right. Then for question 5, it is saying, we can conclude from paragraph 3 that in most cases, the patient recovers when the virus, so remember the question is saying, the patient recovers when the virus, so we can go to paragraph 3 and then extract the answer. So according to paragraph 3, it is saying the virus enters the body through the throat and attacks the spinal cord. In most cases, now listen here, in most cases the patient recovers, but where the attack is severe. So when you say severe, something which is severe, it's more like dangerous, that is severe. Okay, then where the attack is severe, it can destroy the nerves. As a result, the patient can become severely paralyzed. Alright, so let's see. Here, they haven't mentioned that to say that the patient were going to recover when the disease is like this. But from this sentence, we can only extract that according to this word severe. Severe means to say when the condition is very serious. Okay, the condition is very serious and it's very, very dangerous in that state. So from there, we can see that patients can only recover when this disease, or when this case is not what? Severe. That's when they can recover. So for question 5, so the patient recovers when the virus attacks less severely. Okay, let's skip that one. Then B, attacks severely. No. When the patient has been attacked severely, meaning to say this one is going to destroy the nervous system, so the patient is not going to recover. Then once it attacks the spinal cord, this one here can't be recovered. And then once it enters the body through, this one was just the form in which the disease was attacking the humans. So even this one has to be not the answer, but this one is going to be the answer because it is saying attack less. So meaning to say something which is not serious, it is going to be less severe. Okay, so we are going to choose A as our answer. Then for question 6, it is saying from paragraph 4, which of the following statements is true? Improved sanitation dash diminishes the natural immunity as well as enhances the natural immunity as well as increases the chances of infection. Then D, reduces the chances of epidemic. So let's see from paragraph 4. So according to paragraph 4, so we need to understand from this paragraph, it is saying what is interesting here is that although improved sanitation reduces chances of infection, so I want you to understand this paragraph. So it is saying what is interesting here is that although improved sanitation reduces the chances of infection, it also increases the chances of an epidemic. Wow. When you're improving sanitation, it is also increasing what? The chances of infection. How come? But we all know to say that improving sanitation also reduces the chances of infection. But here it is saying what is interesting is that although improved sanitation reduces the chances of infection, it also increases the chances of an epidemic. So in talk of an epidemic, these are just the diseases which affect worldwide. Okay. So in poor countries, infants, so these are just children. Okay, so infants come in contact with the disease. So now I want you to understand, before we even conclude, to say that improving sanitation is going to increase chances of epidemic. So this one is saying in poor countries, infants come in contact with the disease and develop immunity to it. So this one is a powerful point. So we develop the immunity against the antibody, let me say, the antibodies that we come in contact with. Okay, so where the standard of hygiene is high, natural immunity is there. Okay, so where there is high hygiene, you're going to find that the natural immunity is going to be there. Okay, so layer or scarcity, and the disease once introduced can become epidemic. Also, the chance of the disease becoming severe and causing paralysis is much higher in order. So more active children than it is in infants. So what are we getting from this statement? So let's see. So according to the points that we have been given here, it diminishes the natural immunity. So improved sanitation is going to diminish the natural immunity, which is okay. We have seen that improved sanitation, you're going to find that it is also going to lead to an epidemic. Apart from that one, there was also this point here, which was saying that where the standard of hygiene is high, natural immunity is lower. So we have seen that one. So meaning to say that is diminishing the natural immunity. So meaning to say our answer here is just going to be A on that one. Then for question 7 in paragraph 5, how old was John Salk when he announced that he had developed his trial vaccine? He was -years old. So we need to start from the day he was born up to when he announced the trial for vaccine. So let's see for paragraph 1. So in paragraph, let me say for paragraph 5, from paragraph 1, we have seen that he was born in 1914. That is when he was born. Then in paragraph 5, let's see when he announced that trial for vaccine. So according to paragraph 5, it is saying, Salk started all the works available in viruses and vaccination for Edward Jenner's discovery of smallpox vaccine. He decided to develop a vaccine for the disease. In 1953, Salk announced that he had developed his trial vaccine. So he announced in 1953 and he was born in 1914. So let's do the calculations here. So he was born in 1914 and he announced the first trial for vaccine in 1953. So we have 1914 and 1953. So we can do the math here. So we are going to have 4. Here we are going to have 13, and this is going to give us 9. Then 4 minus 1, that is going to give us 3. So he was 39 years old. So where is 39? It's this one. So that is how you are supposed to answer that one. Let's see question 8. Question 8 is saying, in which year, according to paragraph 5, was a mass trial launched in which hundreds of school children were vaccinated in dash. So let's go to paragraph 5. Okay, so according to paragraph 5, I've read the first part here. Okay, we can just repeat so that we understand what this paragraph is saying. So started all the works available on viruses and vaccination from Edward Jenner's discovery of smallpox vaccine. He decided to develop a vaccine for the disease. In 1953, Salk announced that he had developed his trial vaccine. It contained some dead polio viruses and penicillin. Salk, with his wife and 3 children, was among the first to receive the vaccination. It proved to be safe and effective. The following year, so according to this statement, is saying the following year, he announced in 1953, then the following year. So meaning to say the following year from 1953 is what? It's 1954. That is the following year. So a mass trial was launched in which hundreds of school children were vaccinated. So the following year is 1954. So let's see if we have 1954. See, that's our answer. Then for question 9. Question 9 is saying, what is the title of the passage dash John Salk? Is it talking about Biograph? Is it talking about the history? Is it talking about the medical achievement of John Salk? Is it talking about polio? So according to this paragraph or the passage, it's just talking about the medical achievement of John Salk. So we can choose C as our answer. Then from there, for question 10. Question 10 is saying, from the underlined words in the passage, find one word which means the same or nearly the same as the following words or phrases. Then spell each word correctly. So without danger. Wow. So without danger, let's see the one which is underlined in the paragraph. So without danger, so let me just lap so that we see the ones which are underlined here. Okay. So even here, so without danger, which one do we have here? Without danger. So this one, graduated, no time, working, no layer, no. So we have safe here. So safe means without danger. So we can choose that one as without danger. So safe. Then for Roman number, we're saying serious. Something that is serious, meaning to say it is severe. So do we have severe here? Let's see. Yeah, we have severe here, where it was saying that in most cases the patient recovers, but where the attack is severe, it could destroy the nerves. So the word severe means to say something that is serious. So severe. Then fascinating, something which is interesting. That is fascinating. So let's see if we have the word which is interesting here. Do we have the word which is interesting? Yes, it is here. The one which is underlined. Interesting, that is fascinating. So we can choose interesting. Interesting. Alright. Then the last one which is saying minute. Something which is minute, meaning to say it is tiny, very tiny. Okay, that is very small. Minute means small or tiny. So do we have tiny here? Yes, we have tiny. These are tiny parasitic organisms. So meaning to say our answer here is just going to be tiny. Okay. Then from there we are done. Thank you very much for watching, and remember to subscribe for more videos like this.